welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna share to you the process on how to apply for a permanent resident visa if you're a foreigner. Today we're going to the Bureau of Immigration to submit my husband's application for permanent visa, and I'm gonna share to you the requirements and the process and whatever else would need to be involved in the process. So there are other ways to apply for a permanent visa here in the Philippines. One is the retirement scheme, the investment scheme, and second is marriage by a Filipino citizen. So today I'm just gonna focus on the application through marriage of a Filipino citizen. So my husband is from New Zealand, and we've been living in the Philippines for almost 5 years now, and then now we decided that it's time for him to apply for a resident visa, because before we really did not feel the need to apply, because his work, he always comes and goes out of the country, so he doesn't really need to update his visa. And so before we just extend his stay here, extend his visa every time it's near to expire. So the first is when you go to the immigration Bureau of Immigration here in Cebu City, which is located in J Center Mall. I'm gonna give you the address in the description box, and once you go there, they will give you this checklist and general instructions. So I'm gonna put also the general instructions somewhere in my video, so that you will be able to read it beforehand if you're planning, and you will have any idea of what's their do's and don'ts. So the first requirement in the application is a joint letter request addressed to the commissioner from the applicant and the petitioning Filipino spouse. So basically, this is just a letter from you and your spouse, requesting the embassy that you wanted to get a permanent resident, and then you just have to tell them a little bit about your story. So this is our letter. It's just short. I'm not gonna share with you what we wrote here, but yeah, this is basically very basic. We just wrote here our intention of wanting to have a permanent visa and a little bit of our story. And second is the application form. They will give you this application form. It's 2 pieces, and this is number form CJAF 001 Rev 2. But anyway, I'm gonna put it somewhere in my video what form, number form that you need. And second is, so you have to, of course, you have to accomplish the form. And second is your marriage certificate, which we have here already, original copy of your marriage certificate. And second is birth certificate of your Filipino spouse, original. So I also have it here, my original, the spouse, not the applicant. And photocopy of passport, bio page, and latest admission with valid authorized stay. So the applicant should photocopy his passport, the bio page, and the page his or her last arrival here in the Philippines, and how long he is allowed to stay here. So NBI clearance, So my husband's NBI clearance, this one, of course we got it here in Cebu, so we applied for this. Since he doesn't have a record, we have to wait for a month for this to come out. And yeah, that's slowing down our process, because we thought that we could just get it in a day, but we have to wait for a month for this NBI certificate. And BI clearance, the BI clearance, when you get the form in the immigration, they will give you a form to fill up, and you just have to give it to the window there, and they will give you the BI clearance. It's just a Bureau of Immigration clearance stating that, you know, you're cleared here, you don't have any malicious records. So basically, it's just saying that, hey, I'm clean, I need a permanent resident. So basically, guys, that's it. It's a very straightforward requirements, and it's very easy. Basically, you already have everything. So what they need to do, or what you need to do, is you just have to photocopy everything, because they need the original and few photocopies. Anyway, I'm gonna post it on the video, somewhere in the video, of how many copies you need and the exact requirements that you have to gather here. And I forgot, you also need to have photos. So it's a 2x2 ID picture. So 4 pieces. You need 4 pieces of these photos. Yeah, so basically, that's it. So what they want you to do is, after you gather all the requirements, you need to put it in a long white folder like this. And you have to also bring the clip, the fastener, not the clip. So you have to put it in a long white folder and bring fastener with you, because that's what they want you to do, basically. So like, now we're going to the immigration office, and yeah, we'll see what happens. So once you gather all the requirements, and you feel that, you know, you already completed everything, you go to the processing office. We live in Cebu City, so we go to J Center Mall. It's in 2nd floor, the Bureau of Immigration. And you just go directly to window 7, because you don't need a number when you're doing the permanent resident visa. So just go directly to window 7. If there is a queue, then you have to queue, but it's not really busy in that area, so definitely it's a bit faster than the visa extension process. So when you go to window 7, the girl will check your requirements to see if you got everything, and then if you are okay with all the requirements, the next step is you will pay. So the payment is around 10 to 11,000, but what they told us is, when you pay first the 8,000. The initial payment is 8,000, and then they will give you a probation visa, which is good for 1 year. And then after when that probation visa is almost expired, you have to go back to the immigration office and that's the time they will give you your resident visa, and it costs another 7,000, 6 or 7,000. But anyway, they said that there's no specific amount for the payment for the visa fee, because it may change over a period of time. So they will just tell you it's around 10 to 11,000, and so after that you pay. The processing time of the visa is actually 2 to 3 months. So within that period of time, while you're waiting for your permanent resident visa to be approved, you still need to renew, you still need to extend your tourist visa if you think it will expire. So it doesn't mean that you applied for a resident visa, it will just continue. No, while waiting for it to be approved, you need to get your visa extension as well. So when we were gathering my husband's requirements for this permanent visa, we encountered some problems, and my husband will explain to you what are those problems and what we did to make it right or to solve those problems. And guys, I just want to remind you that you are in the Philippines. So when it comes to you are in the Philippines and we don't have the best system here, so it can get very frustrating when getting things done. It takes so long to do things here. So that's my advice to you. Just be patient, and yeah, just understand that you're in the Philippines, and things here is not as easy as in other countries or in the Western countries. So yeah, and like in the immigration, they have this express pay. You know, when you they will ask you if you want a regular lane or express lane, and you just have to click the express lane. For me, it doesn't exist because you still have to queue, but they have a different reason about the express lane. And so just to make your life easy, just click the just check the express lane to your process, and I think you have to pay extra 1,000 for that. But when you complain, they will just explain that, you know, like they have to do this, that's why it's called express lane. So yeah, that's what, so like if I were you, just don't mind it, because it will just make your process longer if you keep on like minding that thing. So that's one of the glitches in the immigration. But yeah, anyway, my husband will explain it to you.
Yeah, hi everybody. My darling wife has suggested that I talk to you about some of the issues we've confronted while we've been applying for my residence visa here in the Philippines. Obviously, for obvious reasons, I want to be a resident here. We've bought a house here. Now our future is here long term, so that's where we want to be. So it makes sense to have a residence card. Two problems we've come up against which need to be explained a little bit. The first off is that I'm a holder of one of these, which is an APEC card, an APEC business travel card. This allows me visa-free access to most countries in the Asia region. It's very useful, up to 59 days, which is great because that's served us well when we were, or when I've been travelling in and out of the country. The problem is that under the conversion from a visa to a resident visa, it is not applicable to convert a APEC visa, which is what I have currently. So what you need to do is, as I did the last time I left the country and I came back to Cebu, I just came in without using my APEC card and just got a normal 30-day tourist visa. A tourist visa is convertible to a a residence visa, whereas an APEC business visa, business travel visa, is not applicable. So that's one thing. The second thing is that as part of the application for a residence visa, you need one of these, which is a NBI clearance certificate. That's NBI is National Bureau of Investigation. What they do is they investigate you, make sure that you are not on any criminal wanted list, or you're a person of good character, or for some reason you may have civil proceedings against you for whatever reason. Now, unfortunately, there is somebody else in the Philippines, and Ilo from what we can work out, who has a name who is almost identical to mine, or very, very similar. So as soon as my details were put into the NBI system, it came up with a red flag. So what we've had to do now is, instead of processing the NBI clearance in a matter of a few days, it will now take up to a month while they ascertain that I am who I say I am, and that my passport is mine, and differentiate me from the other person in the Philippines who currently has some issues with the NBI. So once we have processed the NBI clearance, which will now take another month, we will be in a position to go back and present all our documents for my residence visa. So it's been a somewhat frustrating experience, but that's the way it is, and we just have to work with the system as it is. Most important that we have to have this. While this is still current, my NBI clearance, we found out today that my NBI clearance has to be valid for at least 6 months when I apply for a residence card. Now, my current NBI clearance expires in January, which is a little over 2 months away. So that has created a problem, which means we have to go back and apply for the NBI clearance again. Again, because of the issues with somebody else with a similar name, that will delay the proceedings. So long and the short of it is, we have to wait another 3 to 4 weeks before we can get my NBI clearance, and then we submit our documents for the residence visa. Once that is done, you get what's called a probationary visa, residence visa, for 1 year, and then after a year, so long as you're a good person and everything else is all good, then you will be issued with a permanent residence visa. So that's where we are at the moment. As I say, it hasn't.
So guys, just a reminder, the immigration has a cut-off for the application of the permanent resident visa. It's just up until 3 p.m. So if you want, if you are far, or you're from a faraway place, I suggest you go to the office early, so that you will be able to submit before the cutoff time. So I will try to put all the information on my video, but if I can't, I will put link in the description box below, so you can check the link and for clearer information there and the forms. And yeah, that's it for now. And definitely guys, we will make a part 2 of this video, the time when we actually submitted already, and the rest, because this video is just about the requirements and the processing. And unfortunately, when we came today, we found out that we can't process yet, because we need to renew my husband's NBI clearance. So hopefully the next time we go, it will be smooth. And till the next video guys, bye.
Fighting flames of fire.